Hello, this is Roland. Welcome. Today's Shedding Shackles presentation is going to be about goals, why you should never set goals for yourself. Okay? Now I know that's the opposite of what people have told you, but look where it's got look at where it's gotten this world. This world is in a mess. The basic idea is never make anything more important than what you know is right in your heart. Okay? Which means you'll be more spontaneous. The minute you set a goal, which is often a goal that someone else gave you, we'll talk about that more later. It's not your goal. It may not be your goal. Chances are it's not your goal. In fact, it's not your goal because either someone suggested it, okay, or you became, or someone put you down, made you feel inferior somehow, and then someone else suggested a way of not being inferior. See? But the only thing inferior is that you were listening to the other people who said you were inferior. So the heck with them. You have to start living your own life. Okay? Now, why not set goals? Here, see, there's a very basic principle involved. Let me just give you an example that'll make it perfectly clear. Here's a classic example. You're in a grocery store, and there's a line, okay? And you want to rush to that line to get ahead of someone else. You see someone else wants to go to that line, so you rush to that line. Now what happens in that moment that you're rushing to get there first? You know what happens? Your boundaries narrow, okay? And all of a sudden you're single-mindedly pursuing that one goal of getting there first. You forget all about, you lose whoever you are, and all you are is like a little animal rushing for that goal, getting there first. You forget about kindness, about courtesy, about love, about compassion, about patience, about principle. See? And if the other person beats you there, then you might even resent that other person. You might resent them. But now let's say you have this goal of you're in a big hurry. You have a goal of trying to get out of the store as quickly as possible. Then what happens when somebody in your line is a little bit slow for some reason? They fumble for change or they can't find their credit card. You resent them. You resent the person. You see how it changes your personality? Look what happens in a game. You could have a nice game of tennis, two people hitting the ball over the net in a happy way, okay? But as soon as someone wants to win, making winning too important, they can become like a monster. They forget about everything other than winning. See how that works? So now you understand. So what happens in life is someone puts you down, someone says you're no good, someone says you're lazy, someone says you're stupid, someone says something. Like I said, the heck with them. But somehow it's stuck in your craw because of why? Because you resented that comment. See, you resented. You probably struggled with it. See, as soon as you take an idea in and start struggling with it, see, they already have implanted the idea with which you struggle, and you grow tired of struggling with it. You either give in to the idea, or then you try to compensate to overcome that suggestion, which was not true in the first place. Now someone else comes along, and they see your struggle in that area, or they see your sense of inferiority in that area. They see your issue in that area, or they see other people like you. They know that people like you have that issue. So then they say, well, here's a way that you can be smart. Why, all you have to do is study harder and get good grades and go to college. See? Or all you have to do is try harder, more. Try harder, study harder, work harder, more. So then they become your motivator, and they suggest a way to get what you want. You can also see how someone who lacks money and then someone suggests something inappropriate like stealing money or cutting corners. See, as soon as you have a goal of making money, not that making money is wrong, But when you make that goal too important, then when someone comes along and says, well, you can cut corners here and there, and you see what happens? You forget about principle. So now you see the problem with setting goals. The other problem with goals is that it's a hypnotic thing. Just realize that when you see people on the stage, and there are plenty of YouTube videos about stage hypnosis you can watch. When you see people on the stage being hypnotized, okay, then you see them doing foolish things. They can't find their shoe. They can't remember their name. They think their name is Bob when their name is really Mary. They think they're thirsty when they're not really thirsty. They think they're cold when it's not really cold. Things like that. Or they do foolish things. They suddenly jump out of the chair and do some kind of a chant or something because it was suggested to them. But how did they get into that stage? Well, undoubtedly they were asked to fixate on something. They fixated on something, whether it was their fingers or lights in the ceiling or the hypnotist's voice or some feeling, whatever it was, they were asked to fixate, focus, concentrate on that. And then that became the distraction, fixating on that. And while they were distracted and fixated, see, you can call it a fixation, you can also call it a distraction. Both, it's both. Then the hypnotist made suggestions, okay, which the subconscious mind accepted. So now do you see what a goal is? It's both, it's a fixation and it's a distraction. And while you're fixated on your goal that somebody else gave you, then you are suggestible. You are suggestible. That's why you see corporations that do the wrong. A long time ago, there was a story of corporations that put sugar water in the apple juice for babies. Something. See how awful that is? Well, now there's far worse stories than that. Well, how can otherwise nice people in a nice corporation, how can they end up doing something like that? Because they had a goal. See, they had a goal that they made too important. So stand back, live your life a day at a time, a moment at a time. Goethe said that every second is a miniature minute, every minute is a miniature hour, every hour is a miniature day, every day is a miniature year, every year is a miniature lifetime. Okay? So live each moment. Do what's right for each moment. Never make anything too important. Stand back. Stand back. Take a step back. When you find yourself getting pulled into something, stand back. When you find yourself rushing for the head of the line, stand back. When you find yourself rushing because you're late, stand back. Slow down. When you find yourself making anything important, take a mental step back. Okay? That's a very important life principle right there. If you could follow that, it's not really a suggestion. Okay? It's a principle that if you apply, you'll see for yourself the wisdom of it. You'll see for yourself the wisdom of it. Okay? That could hold you in very good stead. That plus doing the meditation. You see what the little meditation represents. Doing it every morning, first thing, at noon and in the evening. It's a commitment to principle, to doing what's right, to taking a mental step back and doing what's right instead of doing what's expedient, to seeing the big picture instead of having a narrow-minded, selfish goal. See what I mean? That's what it represents, a commitment. And then you go out in the world and you live spontaneously, always checking with your intuition. Check with your intuition. Okay? If someone's trying to talk you into something, well, just hear what they say. Let it go in one ear and out the other. Don't get into an argument with them. Don't give in to them on the other hand. And on the other hand, don't struggle with it. Just observe it. Okay? And then check with your intuition. And then do what comes to you. If nothing comes to you, then don't do anything. Okay? If you're going out to buy a car, because you need a car, okay, then you see a car that seems like a good, possible good car at a good price, then wait until you're no longer excited about it. Don't do things under the emotions. Okay? Wait until you can see reasonably and calmly and rationally whether it's a good decision, and then buy it. You see what I mean? And don't set a goal of today's the day I'm going to quit smoking, or today's the day I'm going to be more patient with my kids, or today's the day I'm going to get a job. See, if you set any kind of a goal like that, it's going to lead to ambition. It adds ambition to it. Remember, that was Adam's problem? Ambition. See, it's okay to be industrious, but not ambitious. There's a difference between being industrious and being ambitious. And so you say, today's the day I'm going to do something. It causes you to have an air of nervousness and tension and ambition. And then if you don't get it done that day, then what? Frustration. See? So just do what you can every day. Do what you can. If people are pressuring you, then just notice the pressure. Just let it stay on the outside. Don't resent it. Okay? Do what you can. Okay? If you can't do what they're pressuring you to do, then just don't do it. Okay? My name is Roland.